Hello, everybody, and welcome to November 29th, 2018 edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine. And ladies and gentlemen, there was a big story today. Conservative journalist Laura Loomer, who, if you don't know who she is, well, basically, I've talked about her once or twice. I've never done a story on her before, because she's really not that interesting. She's just an obnoxious shock jock like Ann Coulter or Tommy Lawrence, except at least those people have more to break down. She worked with Rebel Media. I think she was the one who interrupted that Shakespeare in the Park thing, like about a year ago now. Well, actually, it'd be a year and a half ago. When they did Julius Caesar and portrayed him very similar to Donald Trump, which, on a side note, that play was very anti-killing Julius Caesar. So, I guess she likes killing Donald Trump. Okay, interesting. But she's not particularly interesting usually. She's also the one who does the interviews. It reminds me of a Family Guy clip. You guys ever seen that Family Guy episode where, like, Peter gets a camera and he mails clips into TMZ? The clip where, like, he starts interviewing Ollie. And, like, he just starts screaming, honest to God, horribly racist questions at him. Or when he starts just asking Stewie a bunch of questions. That's basically all Loomer's interviews. They're, honest to God, some of the worst things I've ever seen. Well, she recently decided to handcuff herself outside the Twitter building to protest her getting banned from the site because, in her infinite understanding of the free market, clearly her getting banned off a social media platform is the definition of censorship, just like I'd assume it would be if she interrupted a play. That's okay because it's a Republican doing it. Republican Tim Pool of the Timcast says, quote, Laura Loomer just said she will pee in her pants if she has to. Can I just say that that's very great out of context? But you know what? According to Dylan, I shouldn't be laughing. Here's what he had to say. Laura Loomer has handcuffed herself to the Twitter HQ in New York. On a side note, I'm pretty sure that violates at least one law. Like, aren't there laws against, at the very least, loitering? I mean, for God's sake, you can get arrested in some places for, like, standing too long at a stop sign. But she's not breaking a single law, handcuffing herself to a building. Many people are going to laugh at her for this, including myself. But they should be ashamed of themselves. And now I'm laughing even harder! At least she has the audacity to stand up for herself and this country when she knows she is right. Yes, how dare Twitter ban her for actually targeted harassment. She's engaged in that several times. I mean, she's the woman who randomly went up to Chelsea Clinton and started asking her what she thought of the names of random people who have accused Bill Clinton of raping them. First off, that doesn't even make any sense. You'd go to Bill Clinton for that, not Chelsea Clinton. I understand, Laura, that you probably think all white people look the same because you're horribly racist against them. That has equal amount of evidence as the Bill Clinton rape thing, by the way. So, screw it, it's true now, too. However, Chelsea Clinton and Bill Clinton are not the same person. I've made sure of this. And how did this end, by the way? Because she still doesn't have her Twitter account back. She's off of the building. She just sort of left. I mean, maybe that was to get one of her many props, including a yellow Star of David, because she is against identity politics. But if you dare criticize her, you hate Israel and therefore are anti-Semitic. Can you just do that now? Like, For the record, if you don't like my content, you just hate white people. And she also got some tweets that apparently didn't get banned that she didn't bother reporting, so they're still up, for the record. You ever notice that, by the way? Like, all of these people who say, oh, why didn't this tweet get banned? You report things to Twitter when you think they should be banned. You should report them if you believe that. I never see this on leftist Twitters because we're usually smart enough to report things. You know what else I'm sick of? Actually, are we talking about things I'm sick of? I forget. These things are recorded like 20 minutes apart, honestly. But if we're talking about that, then great. I'm sick of Republicans' new strategy of taking points that were previously ours and then assuming that it's okay when they make them, despite the fact they're problems we know they caused. Candace Owens did this today. First she tweeted this about 3 hours ago. I haven't cared, not even one solitary moment, about the illegals at the border. For the record, seeking asylum isn't illegal. But I'll make it clear. If I see Black America receive even one fraction of the attention and Fox outrage that this caravan of migrants has commanded, I'll reconsider my position. Actually, the people who talk about migrant caravans, the people on the left, are the ones who have also been talking about institutional racism in our society for years now, actually decades. You're going to point out King was a registered Republican, that's cool and all, but he also hated capitalism, like, objectively. He argued for goddamn UBI, for God's sake, and said that the worst inequalities are the ones in our healthcare system. She later tweeted this. I'd pay big bucks to see white liberals, hey, I'm one of those, who cry about the unsustainable living conditions for caravan migrants drink a glass of water from Flint, Michigan. I'll give you credit, Candace, for actually... I want to say this. I don't entirely hate Candace Owens. In fact, I think she has done an okay job, and is actually doing an okay job with that, in fact, bringing up issues that the right normally doesn't talk about into public consciousness, like the Flint water crisis, for instance. I would prefer if she also wasn't using that as an excuse to gut welfare, but that's another story. However, we were the ones who were calling that out. Schneider was a Republican. Did you forget that fact? And Michigan then voted. They almost actually voted for Hillary Clinton. I think it was only like 0.3% off. And the people in Flint, they voted Democrat. And for that matter, we were also the ones who were the angriest when President Obama went there, drank like out of Schneider's tap water and said, yeah, everything's fine. Like, we were the ones who were very angry about that. I don't recall you guys saying anything about that. Now, to be fair, Candace might have actually said something about that, but I don't recall it puncturing mainstream consciousness. Anyway, I'm Ephrom, and good night. See you next week.